In my view, none of this could have unfolded in the way it has if history was taught properly in our schools and universities.
Yes,
Those who control
absolutely.
history control the future.
Look, there's so many. I mean, I don't want to do a history lesson on the history of the Middle East, which I'm sure you're well aware of. But if people had any knowledge of the truth of that, or you wouldn't even have to go back 2,000 years. You don't even have to go back to the time of Jesus. Although, we're taping this right around Easter, and it's worth thinking about. And I was at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem just 2 weeks ago. It's an incredibly moving place. And if you think that church doesn't have significance now, you're crazy. It absolutely does. So, as I said before, you can walk and breathe history right there. But people don't know basic history. But if let's say you don't want to go back 2,000 years, well, you could go back, say, I don't know, to 1948. You could go back 75 years, and you could go back to the end of World War II and the dissolution of the British Empire, and that they offered two people, two states, and that the Arabs, there were no people known as the Palestinians at the time. The Arabs of Palestine said no. The Jews said yes. They've offered them states 5 times. Gaza has a huge border with Egypt. That border has massive walls and massive ditches and massive security. Even right now, John, let's try, this is a good thought experiment. Let's pretend that Israel was the most genocidal, out of control, psychotic, bloodthirsty state in the history of the world. They were Nazis on steroids. Why would, of course that's not true, but let's just pretend it was true. All the things that the people chanting in the streets are saying are true. Why has nobody called for Egypt to open up the door? Sinai, which sits right there, which Israel used to control, is 4 times the size of all of Israel. Sinai, there's almost nobody in Sinai. You could let all those people into Sinai today. They won't do it. Because none of this has anything to do with giving the Palestinians a state. It has to do with destroying Israel. As you know, John, the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, that's an apartheid nation. If you want to look at an apartheid nation, the Hashemite rulers rule over their Palestinian majority population. Or go to Lebanon, where Palestinians aren't allowed to have, I think, 30 some odd types of jobs or own land, et cetera, because they don't want them there either. So it has nothing to do. The Jews are just an easy foil for a bunch of bad regimes to retain power. But if anyone cared about any of these people, Egypt would open up the border and save their brothers. But nobody cares.